We tell you about the weather right now. How will it affect where you're headed? What about your plans? People count on us to get them through the day. I love that.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
On the Storm Watch, a chance for some showers in the portions of the Midwest and into the north today. But the big story is Hurricane George as it makes landfall into the Gulf Coast. That is the issue that leads to the tropical update on this Monday morning. And looking at where the storm is, its latest coordinates at 30.2 north and 88.8 west near Biloxi, Mississippi. Winds at 105 miles per hour. It's moving towards the northwest at 6 miles per hour, and the pressure at 962. And this is a tropical update sponsored by Wells. Looking at our advisories, the hurricane warnings from Morgan City, Louisiana through Panama City, Florida, and then the hurricane watch from Panama City towards St. Marks, Florida. Looking at the area, region 2, there's a tornado watch within much of southern Alabama, the western panhandle of Florida, and into southeastern Mississippi, and a tornado warning in effect till 5:05 Central Time for Jackson and Harrison counties in Mississippi. That's this area right here. A very active weather as the eye making landfall, calming things down somewhat in the region 2, but around that, lots of rainfall, and flooding is a serious problem with upwards anywhere from 6 to 15 inches of rain possible in the system. Here's the estimated radar. Look at the rainfall, and in the pink, that shows where we've seen upwards to at least 12 to almost 15 inches of rain west of Panama City, and over much of this over the water, over the Gulf, but also pushing on land towards the Interstate 10 and around Mobile, upwards to 4 to 5 inches of rain here, and moving further away from the storm, not as much heavy rain, upwards of maybe 3 inches or so into areas just northeast of New Orleans. And a lot of rain still pushing up from the storm into Alabama, Mississippi, and even Georgia later today and for tomorrow. Current view of the radar shows what it looks like. That swirl is the eye making landfall just west of Mobile, and with our heavy convection here, that's where the tornado watch box and the tornado warning in effect for portions of the Jackson and Harrison counties. And the rain bands upwards towards Montgomery, Alabama, on the way towards the north, towards Birmingham, and even towards Jackson, Mississippi. And we'll see some rainfall from the system. But the storm has slowed down thanks to 2 ridges of high pressure blocking the storm's movement towards the north, and a frontal boundary too, so that the biggest threat besides the wind and tornadic activity is flooding around the region and rain from the storm, because it's moving very slowly and won't move very much over the next day or 2. So we have flash flood watches and warnings in effect for the region into Louisiana, into Mississippi, Alabama, and into the panhandle of Florida. Now looking into the Atlantic, into the Gulf too, you can see the storm making landfall and the swirl of clouds with that storm. And into the Atlantic, still some activity that's moving away from the United States. We have Hurricane Jeanne at 31.1 north, 40.4 west, or 920 miles southwest of the Azores Islands. The winds at 75 miles per hour, right at the border of hurricane status, moving towards the northeast at 18 miles per hour, further out into the Atlantic. Looking at the rest of the country, besides George and all the rainfall here, along our frontal boundary and above that, rain and showers into Missouri and also into Kansas. And this cold front moving toward the south is part of the blocking mechanism that will keep George into the Gulf coastal region over the next couple of days. That plus 2 ridges of high pressure keeping the storm in this region and moving rather slowly. So that's why the flooding will be the big issue with the storm, besides the winds, which have been clocked upwards to 80 miles per hour. Into the northeast, we're seeing some very light showers on Washington, D.C. dissipate over the last few hours. Showers and thunderstorms into Kansas. Stay tuned for Weather Center.
A powerful Hurricane George hammers Biloxi and the central Gulf Coast as it makes landfall. Details plus weather for your commute on Weather Center after your local forecast.
I should have listened to my mother.
When you're lost, the accurate TL can help.
If you spend any time in the cold, you should know Walls has clothes to keep you warm.